Today we're going to do a little massage therapy work, which will be for the layman. And I'm going to do it in such a way that if you have somebody there in the room with you, you can practice, or you can watch a little more closely as to how to do each step. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm not really going to go into a lot of the stuff I do, just a basic overall work of the back. So you want to start by having your person lay. If they can get their face straight down, that's fine. If the neck is turned to the side, that's okay, but it does make the muscles in the upper back and the neck in a little bit different position. But to do it at home or to do it for your friends, you just have to improvise wherever you need to. And then you'll want to get a nice oil. Don't use mineral oil. It tends to clog the pores. And don't use any kind of canola or polyunsaturated fats. That's not very good for the skin. But find something nice, or a lotion, as long as it keeps its viscosity and doesn't soak into the skin too quickly. If it soaks into the skin, you'll get kind of frustrated with the whole process. You have to keep reapplying it. So here we go. Okay, to begin with, and of course being on the floor depends on how you're going to be, so I just will tell you how to work this, and you'll have to modify yourself for the situation that you find yourself in. Starting up at the neck, upper back, begin by just taking your thumbs and spreading the shoulders open, spreading, and as you do this, don't bear in with a whole lot of pressure. Just get enough to feel that your thumbs are entering into the muscle, and enough that it's feeling like you're giving a little resistance to it, but not so much that you're digging in deep or causing the person to tense up or scream in pain. And then you bring your thumbs on either side of the vertebrae and just slide down the back. On either side of the vertebrae. Don't go on the bone itself. There's a lot of attachments there. Then start again, bring your thumbs in, find that vertebrae, and follow the back down. Okay. I like to do things usually in threes, especially along the back. You'll be able to feel probably the muscle of the spine, the erector spinae. It's close into the vertebrae, and then the second stroke down, you can come out a little farther if you like, and the third one a little bit farther, or you can just stay close to the vertebrae and spread your thumb to cover that entire muscle. Just something that's comfortable. And then I like to just rub opposite directions, not hitting the spine, keeping one hand on one side of the spine, one hand on the other, and just work up and down. There's not really anything here going on particularly. There's no thumb iron. It's just working that hand, but you don't want to be too fluffy with it where you're just kind of brushing it. You want to give a little bit of effort into it, but not a lot of pressure, but enough where you're engaged. I walk over to the side and start up at the neck and stretch the muscles of the shoulder in this direction. Come back up at the neck and stretch to the side. And just keep moving down a little bit. Each time that you're coming back to the spine, come down a little bit lower, and then just follow this trapezius muscle down. It gets narrower and narrower because you'll feel the edge of the scapula, but that's okay. The trapezius muscle comes down to a point. You just kind of work into that, and then bring your thumb and just press the other direction. Up to the neck, and then stretch. Okay. And then you can can take your hand and just do another kind of broad movement. I'm not using the terms that we use because they're not going to really mean anything, so I'm going to just talk to you about how the hands are placed. It's more the palm of the hand and a sweeping type action. And then at the base of the spine, right at the hip line, a little bit below the hip line, here's the hip line, just a little bit below that is where the muscles attach. Just gently take your thumbs and let that muscle press the muscle upward. And back and forth a couple times. You're going to feel a lot of stuff going on here because this is a place where the muscles take a lot of weight bearing and they have a lot of twisting and lifting to do. And then just rub your fingers, your thumb up and down across the area where you just went up and down with. So you want to take this across the muscle and this way up and down. At least this is what I do. I've done it for years and it gives very good results. People get very relaxed from this particular routine. And then take your thumbs. The thumbs are on the same side of the vertebrae. They're put together, and you just want to slide. The thumbs have the majority of the pressure. It's not a lot, and just ride up that muscle until you get to the top where the neck is. Drop one hand and follow right along the vertebrae all the way to where it attaches into the head. Be especially careful when you enter into the neck area. Maybe letting your finger come up a little bit in the amount of pressure that's being used. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. You want to scoot yourself to the other side of the table or floor or person. And then again, just start up at the neck, pulling these muscles open and stretching them into the shoulder, toward the direction of the shoulder. Just keep it coming this way. It gets narrower and narrower. You don't really want to go onto the shoulder blade. You want to just go right up to it. And then the muscle is going to get a little narrower. And here it comes right down to the point. And then you take your thumb and push it in the opposite direction, right on that same muscle, from the point of the trapezius up between the shoulder blades and the spine, all the way to the neck. And then bring that up. I always think it's a good idea to go from origin to insertion on the muscle. It makes it feel just a little bit better. And then we're going to pull those hands down just in a sweeping action, bringing everything down and around to the side. Okay, thumb is on the this side of it's the right side of the vertebrae, down here right along the hip. You're actually below the crest there. The ridge of the hip bone is right there. You want to be below that because that's where the muscles, there's a lot of attachments in there. There's a lot of muscle in there. And just pushing that thumb. And then crisscross. You can do that with your fingers. You can do that with your thumb. Whatever's good. Just get a basic idea. And then with the thumbs together, ride yourself up. Up, 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 up. And into the neck, bringing it all the way to the top. Okay. And then there's many other things that I do in the middle, but I'm not going to really do that for the lay person at this particular time. So I'm just going to have you pull your thumbs in together, and then when they meet on either side of the spine, work that upward because that gives a little bit different stretch in the vertebrae. The vertebrae have to lift up a little bit differently than when you're going down. And bring that all the way to the neck. You can do that 3 times, just the opposite of what we had done when we began. Just this little amount of back work is going to really help your friend or child or husband or wife to relax out. This is just a circular motion that's just going down the back. And then if you want to get into the shoulders a little bit, just take the muscles and do kind of a kneading action where you're working into it and picking them up this way. Just into the shoulder. There's quite a bit of musculature here, and it has a lot of different action that it does, various muscles. So you can just knead it a little bit, and that's like picking it up and moving it around, but without a lot of force. Don't pinch it, don't do anything like that, just very gently. And then just to end it, you can hold the hand at the neck and begin to just slide down with both hands after you get going. Okay, so that should give you a little bit to work with, and hopefully it's done in a way that you can follow along till you get a better feel for it and a little bit of practice, and then it'll become like second nature. This is Athena Jezik.